Hello there, people of Lockdownia. How are you? I'm myself. I've had a rough week or two, so let's do something a little bit of fun. I'm going to play this play. I'm going to recite the second poem in the Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats by T.S. Elliot. And basically, T.S. Eliot had this idea to make a poem about cats and dogs, but he never got around to the dogs, probably because it's not as easy to make silly poems about dogs. Who knows? Anyway, this unfortunately is one of the I've mentioned before that this was used as the lyrics for the dance musical Cats, and this is the one song that I absolutely hated from it. It's a honky tonk rhythm, do 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 do, and I didn't like it at all. But we'll see what the poem is like. So let's get on with it. And let me just okay, the old Gumby cat. I have a Gumby cat in mind. Her name is Jennyanydots. Her coat is of the tabby kind, with tiger stripes and leopard spots. All day she sits upon the stair, or on the steps, or on the mat. She sits and sits and sits and sits, and that's what makes a Gumby cat. But when the day's hustle and bustle is done, then the Gumby cat's work is but hardly begun. And when all the family's in bed and asleep, she tucks up her skirts to the basement to creep. She is deeply concerned with the ways of the mice. Their behaviour is not good, and their manners not nice. So when she has got them lined up on the matting, she teaches them music, crocheting, and tatting. I have a Gumby cat in mind. Her name is Jennyanydots. Her equal would be hard to find. She likes the warm and sunny spots. All day she sits beside the hearth, or on the bed, or on my hat. She sits and sits and sits and sits, and that's what makes a Gumby cat. But when the day's hustle and bustle is done, then the Gumby cat's work is but hardly begun. She finds that the mice will not ever keep quiet. She is sure it is due to irregular diet. And believing that nothing is done without trying, she sets right to work with her baking and frying. She makes them a mouse cake of bread and fried and dried peas, and a beautiful fry of lean bacon and cheese. I have a Gumby cat in mind. Her name is Jennyanydots. The curtain cord she likes to wind and tie it into sailor knots. She sits upon the windowsill or anything that's smooth and flat. She sits and sits and sits and sits, and that's what makes a Gumby cat. But when the day's hustle and bustle is done, then the Gumby cat's work is but hardly begun. She thinks that the cockroaches need employment to prevent them from idle and wanton destroyment. So she's formed from that lot of disorderly louts a troop of well-disciplined, helpful Boy Scouts, with a purpose in life and a good deed to do. And she's even created a beetle's tattoo. So for old Gumby Cat, let us now give 3 cheers, on whom well-ordered household depends, it appears. Hope you liked that. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.